Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. Gemini, I'm going to do your summer reading for you today. I am using 88 cards, which are 4 different major arcanas from 4 different tarot decks. The beautiful thing about the arcana cards is they are very much a symbolic way of spirit providing messages for you at this time that are for those of you that are at pivotal moments of your life. And it's about looking at yourself, where you are, your environment, and what within the cycle of life, because this is the Wheel of Life, of a Wheel of Fortune tarot reading for you. What within these cycles is coming in for you, is blossoming, is coming into abundance, is releasing, what you're being asked to sort of relax and take a rest on. So they're very good symbolism for us today to have a look for you, for Gemini, for those that most need to hear the message today. So if it resonates with you, you are simply remembering in divine timing what you already know, my darling. And if it doesn't resonate with you, it simply means it wasn't for you at this time. There will always be a reading out there for you at exactly the right time, as guided by spirit. As ever, thank you so much for all of the wonderful comments, for the likes, for the subscribes. I am so very grateful, and it's a beautiful exchange of energy between us. And if you would like a personal reading with me, all of the details are in the description box below as well. Thank you very much. This is for Gemini, for those that most need to hear the message today. So what I'm going to look at first is yourself, where you are feeling right now within yourself energetically, and it's sort of your wellness. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Spirit, for Gemini, for those that most need to hear the message. So we have got the Magician card has come out for you, which is rather wonderful. The Magician. Now, the Magician is the card of the tarot, which says that it's about as above, down below. Okay, it's about the understanding and the empowerment that comes with this understanding that we are life itself, experiencing itself. And that actually magic, my darling, magic is alive everywhere you see it. Magic is alive in the rhythm and the pattern of nature. It's alive within signs and synchronicities that you're receiving. Because remember, this is your universe. This is your universe, and you are the lead part of your universe. And so this is the card of trusting that whatever vibration you're in right now, there are things that are happening for you, and there are things that maybe be happening spontaneously for you, because that's life itself. It happens spontaneously. There are things that may be happening that are making you go, my goodness, that's weird, that's wonderful. And it's a reminder for you as well, which is lovely, that the universe will provide for you. But when you're in a place of trust, when you're in a place of belief that everything is happening for you and it'll all come to you at the right time for you, then you are allowing a sort of, if you imagine your trust and belief as a parameter around you, if you're in a space of not believing, that little circle is very small, and that is only what you are willing to see in that space. But if you expand your trust and belief to a wider perspective, and to give the universe a chance, to give God, the universe, a chance, give Spirit a chance to show you that it is there, that you are it experiencing itself, then it miraculously shows up for you in your existence, in your reality. And you know, the thing about the Magician is that it is the manifestation of one's desires. It represents the manifestations of one's desires. And that's the law of attraction. And there are many laws in this natural universe, and that is it. And that space of the law of attraction is that you set out your intention, what you are desiring, and you set it out with not a feeling, I'm just watching Nut, bless her, trying to get on the sofa, not a feeling of hope, not a feeling of trust, a feeling of knowing that it'll come back to you. It is going to come back to you in divine timing. And that letting go, that knowing, that acceptance, at the same time, energetically, you're letting go of the desire to have it, that it's causing a lack in your life right now, and you're sort of just putting it away and going, it's fine, it's going to happen when it's meant to happen. And therefore what that does is that that complete and utter trusting, knowing in it allows it to come to you. Now, the other little key secret to this is when you are manifesting, is to put out that knowing, this is what I want, thank you very much, but also to envelop yourself in the feeling that it's already happened, because it's in the visualization, it's in the imagination that we create, and we are master manifestors, and that's what the Magician card is saying. We are master manifestors, and the last ingredient in our manifesting toolbox and our manifesting powers is belief. The universe will deliver to you. Excuse me, just 1 second, bear with me. Sorry, Nat was crying, she wanted to come up. So there we are, there's the Magician, which is really rather wonderful. And it says here, magic is alive in your life. What you need to be a success will manifest. If you believe it, you can do it. So that's the first card. Right, now let's look at the environment around you at this time. Thank you. This is sort of maybe affecting how you are. This is out, too many cards, Spirit. Thank you. This is affecting how you are. This is affecting maybe how you're feeling about things, but this is your environment at the moment. Thank you. So there's an awful lot at the moment in your space. This is the Balance card that is taking your attention at this time. And Spirit wants to remind you, perhaps you are spending too much attention and focus on one particular area of your life and not on another. This is about the choices you're making in the environment of your life at this time. There are things right in front of you. Do you see this lovely wise woman is picking the blackberries? There are things right in front of you for you ready to see, to be grateful for, to get joy for, that are nourishing for your soul, but they're right there for the picking, they're right there for the taking. And if this is lining up, if this is in partnership with the Magician card, what is it, darling, that you have manifested that is bang right in front of you at this time that you may not have noticed? And the Balance card is, balance is a very interesting thing. We all talk about being in balance, don't we? But if we look at balance, that it takes more than one, it takes two, there is a duality in the universe. Everything is in relationship to something else. There is an interdependence because of that. Because how can we, as the universe, experience itself, experience and get to know itself if it isn't in relationship to something else? So Spirit wants you to just think about that one and mull that one over, but also to understand that there is great symmetry in duality. And if you are leaning more towards one thing, maybe you are not paying enough attention to something else. Now, the other thing with this card, you see here with the fox, Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox is saying that solutions to your problems, and problems sometimes are simply things when things haven't worked out the way that we want them to work out, doesn't necessarily mean it was a problem. It just means that the universe has another idea, another way of approaching this, another thing for you. And that is why maybe this particular problem hasn't worked out the way that you wish for it to do so. It's not to say that it was not meant to happen. It's just there might be something else there for you. And the magpie in this card talks about joy. It talks about finding joy in the things in your life right now. And it's also joy maybe after sorrow for you as well. But the black and white of the magpie represents the duality and maybe what has been sorrowful in your life. If you can see the gift in that relationship in terms of what that soul gift was, it will help you feel joy for where you are now as well. So I hope that makes sense for those this reading has resonated with. So I'm going to move into winter for you and see what this card, my darling, is. This card is about, this season, winter, is about a time of rest. It's about a time of renewal. You know, the soil needs time to nurture. It needs time to become rich in order for the spring shoots to have the nourishment they need. So what in a period of your life where it has been quieter, it has been a slower period, a much needed period of rest, what have you rested from and what is waiting to come in for you? What is yet to appear as shoots coming up through the soil? Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for Gemini. Oh my goodness, they're saying lots and lots and lots and lots of cards. My darlings, just one card. Thank you. There we go. So what have we got? So we've got two cards have come out, the Star and the Sun. And what this is saying to me with both of these cards, these are from two different decks. What we're saying, I was just glancing, I do love the back of this deck, and I can't remember, I think this is the Guardian Angel Tarot, and I just love the symbolism of all the major arcanas in the back. So the Sun and the Star talks about something that you, during a period where you were encouraged, maybe a little push by the universe, encouraged to take time out on something, because the Sun, shoots need the sun to grow, don't they? And everything grows in the dark, first of all. And some of our biggest growth periods in our life is when we go through something where maybe we are in the dark, or we feel very uncomfortable and fearful, but these are the opportunities for us to grow, to get to know ourselves better, to understand things, to not be rushing so much, but actually take that time for that pause and reflection. And what this is saying, interesting enough, on this card here, is plans, a time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities, plans that work out perfectly, gratitude to the divine. So I feel, for those that are resonating with this reading, that you can now look back and see that this period that may have been a time of rest and renewal for you was an opportunity for you to shift away from something towards something else. And part of that shift for you, because the sun helps things to grow, and the sun is nurturing, and it is about the growth. This is about you have healed, taken responsibility for some healing within yourself that needed to happen. And because you've got the Star card here, this is a representation of that. So the Star card is the sun and the star together, talks about renewal for you, enlightenment, releasing heavy burdens. You see, pouring away. That water represents emotions, energy, emotion, releasing things with the understanding that it is not your burden to carry anymore. It is not your responsibility to carry anymore. And being at ease with the flow of this healing process. And also during this, and it says here, inspiration, fulfillment, and faith, coming into that space of, and there's been for you, because you've got these brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities and inspiration, there's been, during this quiet time, lots of fabulous ideas that you've been getting about something for yourself. And remember, inspired ideas, epiphanies, all of that is source energy. That is all source wisdom coming through to you. And what Spirit wants to encourage you to do in this instance is don't then allow the mind, the ego mind, to start to look at ways that it might not work, whatever it is that you're thinking of at this time. Don't let the mind start to create closed off parameters for these wonderful epiphanies and ideas that you have at this time. And have faith that this is source wisdom talking to you. This is your soul talking to you at this time. And those inspired ideas as original source energy ideas are for your life path, and therefore you will be guided, you will be protected, because this is something that is important. This is a destiny for you. So this is beautiful. So now we're going to look at spring. So what is coming in to blossom for you? So let's have a look. And I'm just noticing there again behind you there, you've got the little unicorn you see with the flag. So this is about you. Sorry, this is one other thing that Spirit's given me with that. The knight here is carrying the colors, and the knight is about movements in the sun card as well. Sorry. So this is about some energetic movement forward for you, and you're it's a very happy, joyful, I'm going to say proud space. You have a real sense of achievement about kind of almost showcasing where you have got to, because you took time out, a very necessary time out. So that is lovely, darling. So let's move ahead and look at spring. So what is starting to come, just about to appear for you? What is exciting? What are you tending to at the time? What are you giving attention to? Because we all need to give attention, don't we, to young flowers, young shoots, shrubs, trees, to make sure that they are looked after. So what are you tending to at this time that is starting to manifest for you, my angel? Let's have a look. Well, look at that, darling. You've got the release card now. Beautiful. And a lot of the same deck are coming out here for you. So this release card is the card of death. And death is a wonderful card to appear here, because what you are tending to is the continued understanding that when we release things from us, it's very easy, isn't it, to say, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, yep, no, I'm moving on, blah, 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 blah. But actually, unless we do that inner work of taking those feelings seriously, understanding why we are feeling a certain way, you know, confusion arises when we don't truly look at what our feelings are and perhaps what our motives have been in a situation. Are those motives coming from an inner child unhealed wound? So all of these things. And so because you are focusing on the releasing, it is the understanding that you can pretend all you want to the outside world. We are people, and person means persona, but you understand that actually the most important thing to tend to when it's very fragile and you are feeling fragile, if you are still feeling fragile, or you were, is the understanding that it takes time to heal. It takes time to process. It takes time to reflect. It takes time to not react so much, to catch yourself in the reactory stage and say, no, that is a trigger in me. It takes time to look at it and respond. It takes time to release. And it takes time to surrender sometimes. And you have to move through it slowly in natural timing, just like nature is natural timing. We are same source energy. And it's about that radical acceptance about where you are right now is so important. And it is with this release card, and this angel here is protecting. And again, there's a unicorn, which is saying there is magical things happening for you because you stepped forward and said, no, I'm going to do this for myself. Thank you. I thank you for the support of family and friends, but I am seeing this as now an extraordinary opportunity to learn, to grow, to expand, to shift, to be at ease and flow with things. So you are moving forward slowly, and this is a very transformative time for you. And that's because the death card represents the end of the old and the beginning of the new, not a recycle, not a repeat of something. It is the end of an old conditioned way and belief of thinking and coming into expanded new awareness of being, that you are life itself, experiencing itself. And actually that is empowering. You are not a victim of something. You are choosing to see everything as an opportunity for growth for yourself, and you're taking responsibility for that. So that is just beautiful, darling. Now we're going to look at the summer for you. Thank you. You know, and when the death card appears, it is a reminder that when the door closes on something, the universe is very magical in what it does. It closes the door on something when something new is ready to come in. So if you are feeling in a way that something has failed in your life, perhaps flip it in your mind and think, no, actually, whatever I was meant to have learned from that has been achieved, and therefore that door is now closed, because this is all for my soul. So whatever is coming in for me is coming in a more expanded structure. So I talk about when we are an existing energy structure, when it's been fulfilled, when the purpose of it has been fulfilled, it collapses. And when we try and hold on to it and we are tense and about it, we are holding on to something that is not meant to be for us anymore. But when we release it and surrender and let go, we allow for that more expanded structure to come in. And this is what you've done, darling. So this is beautiful. So now we're going to look at summer. We're going to look at what is in full bloom for your life. Too many cards for right now. What are you joyful about, grateful about, happy about? Thank you, Spirit. Now let's do that. Well, of course you are. You've now got a transformation card. So this is the Tower card. This is everything that we've talked about. This is the releasing for you, the letting go of everything. The thing about the Tower is that sometimes we can see the Tower, and so you're grateful for the significant life experience that made such a change and a shift in your life. And the Tower can be that. It can be something that people feel happens to them, or something that happens for them. And because of the Tower, because you see what happens is the Tower represents those old conditioned ways of behaving and believing and thinking that we are always having to protect ourselves, that we are alone in this huge universe, we are an identity of one, that we are an automated being that has to control everything in order to make things happen. And then it's the transformation into, oh, hang on a second, no, actually, I'm connected to everything else. I'm source energy experiencing itself. And actually, everything is beautifully connected and spontaneously happens by itself. So I'm just going to allow. So it's breaking free of perhaps fearing to take steps forward. You've been worrying about taking certain steps forward in the past because fear of failure or fear of something happened that you didn't want to happen. Let's look at decisions. We make choices all the time without even realizing about what energy stance structure we're in, how we're feeling about things, what we wish to do. Is it coming from a fear space? Is it coming from an excited space? We're always making shifts and changes within ourselves because of the choices we're making. And so sometimes when we dally, I'm getting the word dally on something, we're procrastinating about something, it's because we feel that we're not quite ready for it. But if you, on the days or the moments where you do feel inspired by whatever it is that you're doing, do remember that the ego will always look to protect, but protect against what? The ego is looking to defend and protect. The ego will go round and round and round and round and round in the same circle, doing the same thing over and over again, because that's all the ego does within us. That is the conditioned identity, personality, things that we've told ourselves, things that others have told us, the limitations we have, the lack of self-love we have about ourselves. None of it is who you are. It is an identity. It is not you. The I is not you. You are the I am. You are life itself, experiencing itself. And this is what you know. And so this is a releasing for you, a transformative releasing for you of old belief systems that had to come down, that had to disappear, that old structure in your life, in order, because of your willing, a new expanded structure to come into your life. So that is stunning. Thank you, Spirit. Spirits. Now, sorry, I was just I was talking to Spirit about something. Now I'm looking at we're looking at autumn. So autumn is a time of releasing, but it's also a time of that necessary releasing in terms of the nourishment of the soil for future growth. But it's also a time of harvest, you know, early August when fruits are harvested. So let's have a look to see what wants to come in. Thank you, Spirit, for autumn. So you've got number 19 here, which is the Great Mother. And funnily enough, number 19 is the sun in the card, in the traditional tarot. So this is a beautiful card, and it's what is being released in order to make way for something new is exactly that. Everything that you have been releasing is giving birth to something new, and you are doing it because you are remembering. The poppies represent remembering. You are remembering now because you are a part of all that is the I am. And in the remembering, you are connected. The remembering, you are connected. And you know, the universe is, life itself is playing a game of hide and seek with itself. And you found yourself in this game of hide and seek. And so what has been released is the non-acceptance of that. What has been released is the identity side. It is the understanding that you have now got from the releasing of old conditioned ways of being. And because of that, you are looking after yourself, you are mothering yourself, you are nurturing yourself, you're making sure that you have the necessary solitude in your life. You are in the love for yourself, you are loving the connection to the universe, you're loving that. And within that space, you are allowing the growth of future beautiful opportunities for you, because you are coming to an understanding that you are perfect exactly as you are. There is nowhere else you should be. There's nobody else you should be. And that is enlightenment, that everything has happened for a reason. You are content and happy with where you are now, and you are nurturing and within that space teaching yourself and others about a different way of being at this time. So I think that's extraordinary. I'm going to pull one more card for you, Gemini, just to see what wants to come out. Oh, thank you, Spirit. I've got 2 cards. Look at that. So, I mean, those are stunning, aren't they? You've got strength and healing there. So out of this extraordinary healing that has happened for you, you have come into this extraordinary place of strength, connection with source energy. You're standing strong. You know that your guides are with you. You have acted with courage in whatever you've done. You've acted with instinct. You have the snake represents the transformation that you've gone through. You have changed your world, my darling. I can see here the beaver here. You've changed your world. You've changed the flow of the emotional flow in your world. The beaver is seen as the architect of the animal world. So you have made necessary changes to the structure, the emotional structure within your life. You are standing tall and strong and committed. And you are wise now. It's about that step forward with the understanding that you're doing what's right, and also that you are now speaking from the place that is, we call love. It's the heart space, but it's also, you are speaking now what is your truth, and you are understanding in that space of speaking it that it feels right, it feels good. And you know, you have, and it's because you have shifted and changed a huge amount at this time. So I hope that has helped those that have come to this reading. I look forward to doing another reading with you soon, but in the meantime, enjoy my dailies from next week. I probably won't get a moment to do a daily this weekend, but from next week I'll be back doing my dailies again. And in the meantime, take care and lots of love. Bye bye, darlings.